Hi guys, what's up? I'm here in my bed. Well, it's not my bed, it's my guest bed. It's just a really comfortable room, you know the vibes. The lights are pink. It's a really cloudy, rainy, long, tired nap, sleepy, kind of sad kind of day. So I thought that instead of doing like a bright sunny video that I would just hang out and talk with you guys and answer some questions and just like chit chat or whatever, because I think it would just be a good time for everyone. So here we go. So I'm on my Instagram and I asked you guys some questions. If you want to follow me on Instagram, this is my @ feel free to follow me. I'm gonna start it off with a hot sizzly question, which is honestly one I haven't talked about before, which is, in what ways has growing up a celebrity influenced you? This is something that sometimes makes me really sad and sometimes I'm really grateful for. So if you guys don't know, I was in a band from the age of 10 to last year, and it was a pretty successful band and I had a lot of eyes on me. I got signed to a record label when I was 11 years old, and I was on red carpets and I was going to movie premieres and I was going to recording studios with like crazy producers and meeting label heads and like traveling all over, going to New York, doing photo shoots, getting styled, like the whole shebang. And our channel on YouTube grew to like 5 million subscribers. It's safe to say I definitely grew up on the internet. If you watch my Truth About My Past video, that kind of gives you some insight on this. But on the other side of things, besides like feeling pressured to like be perfect and stuff, besides that, I do sometimes feel like I was like robbed of a childhood. And I know that's dramatic to say, and I'm not blaming anyone for that, but just looking back, I definitely did not get to do like sports or have really consistent friends that I could hang out with. I kind of always had to put the band over everything else. Like I was in water polo, for example, in middle school, and I really, really loved water polo. I actually started to get pretty good at it when I was younger, and then I had to quit because I didn't have time anymore with the band. And that was one of the things where at the time I was like, I wish I could just not be in the band. And then another thing was high school. Now, I don't necessarily know if I should have been in high school, but I did really want to go to high school, and I wanted to go to real public school, and I wanted to experience what it was like to be around kids all the time, because I was constantly around adults. Like I was never around kids my age. It wasn't like I was some child actor who was on set with other child actors. Like I was a musician in a grown-up's world, like a child musician. So I definitely do feel like I was subject to a lot of things that kids maybe shouldn't be subject to, and like stress and sadness and like pressure and wearing makeup and being on camera and like just like a lot of things that I think kind of messes with your kid brain. And again, it's not anyone's fault. Like I joined the band willingly. I'm not saying I had the worst childhood ever. I'm really lucky to have had that experience, but I think that anyone who grew up like in any kind of spotlight would understand that it's definitely weird to look back on and be like, I didn't really get to be a kid like ever. And I think that's a big reason why I went through like a rebellious phase. So I think I went through that because I was like, I've never been able to be a kid. Like I just want to be a kid. I don't want to think about stuff. It definitely had its downsides. A lot of people ask me, why aren't you Catholic anymore? So a lot of people ask me about my faith journey because I'm very public about being a Christian, and I used to be very public about being a Catholic. So if you guys don't know, the Catholic and Protestant denominations, I guess you could say, are very different. So they're both worshiping the same God. They're both forms of Christianity, but Catholicism is more traditional. It's more about practices and rituals and commandments and weekly things that you need to do and kind of steps you have to take in the church to like be a member of the church and to continue to participate in the church. Catholicism is essentially a church that has long-standing traditions and things that they like to be very specific about. It's hard to explain, guys. I'm really not doing it justice. It's a religion, okay, guys? Basically, I grew up very Catholic. Not very, honestly. Publicly, I was very Catholic, and I liked to think I was very Catholic, but looking back, I had like little bouts of being passionate about it, but generally I was very disengaged and bored, should I say. Initially, I didn't have the drive to learn about it, like the church itself. If you've ever been to a Catholic mass, or if you understand Catholicism, you know that in order to really get into it, you have to take it seriously. It's not just something you just like kind of go and do and then go home. So for me, Initially, I just didn't have the interest, so I kind of stopped going because I was like, I don't know why I'm attending a church that I don't even like. And then it became theological for me, and I started to do a lot of research, and I started to talk to a lot of different people who are not Catholic, and I read books, and I listened to podcasts, and I watched YouTube videos, and I wrote in my Bible, in my journal, just for hours, and I researched different topics for so long, and I still am nowhere near the understanding that I want to be, but I definitely am a lot closer now, and I think that I learned that I don't agree with a lot of the things in the Catholic Church. I don't want to say that they're wrong, because I am a person who believes that religion and God and Christianity is very up to interpretation for a reason, and I think that Jesus left the earth not giving us clear answers on purpose when it comes to the theology and the doctrine. Now, when it comes to religious truth, such as that Jesus is our Lord and Savior, and that he's the Son of God, and that he died for us, and that we need to love each other above everything else, those very clear commandments in the Bible, yeah, I think that those are kind of not up for debate when it comes to Christianity, but there are definitely certain issues that are not so clear in the Bible, even though I thought they were. Growing up in a very, should I say, strict church, it definitely felt like the things that I was being taught were just the truth and that was it. But then when I started to look deeper into it, I was like, I don't really know if this is what it's cracked up to be for me. And it definitely did not give me the spiritual life that I wanted, and it didn't serve me, and it didn't bring me closer to Jesus. And I had no interest in trying to believe something that I didn't think was right or real. So now I'm here, a Christian, a believer. I love God, I love Jesus, and I firmly believe in the things that I have researched and things that I have found. And I used to struggle a lot with not being Catholic anymore, because my entire family is still Catholic, and sometimes it gets hard being the odd one out. And guys, I have nothing against Catholics. I think that if you are a strong Catholic, that is beautiful and that's amazing. And I just want everyone who is a practicing Christian to be closer to God, to Jesus, and to live a Christian life. So I'm not mad about it, guys. It's just not for me. I love this question. This is, would you consider adopting a child? And the reason why I love this question is because I just want to talk about adoption. My husband and I have been wanting to adopt so bad. We've kind of known for a long time that we wanted to adopt kids, especially twins. I don't know what it is, but I just have this draw towards twins, and so does my husband. So I think if I don't naturally give birth to twins, I will definitely adopt them, and I might just adopt them right away just because. I was considering adopting from another country, and I'm still considering that, but I do think it may be important to adopt from the US first, just because it is the country that I live in, and there's so many kids here who do need homes, who maybe don't get homes because people are like going elsewhere to find like a child of another race from another country because it's like cool or whatever. Not saying everyone's like that, but I do think that it's important to adopt the kids who are close by, who need me. So I'll be doing that at some point. We're not gonna have kids anytime soon. It's definitely gonna be a couple years. I want a kid right now, but my husband isn't ready for that, and that's fine. I just have to move on. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but we're definitely gonna adopt kids at some point. Okay guys, I love this question, and this is, what have the first months of marriage been like? So I have been married to my husband for 6 months as of like 1 week from now. We are both 19. I guess I'll be 20 in like a couple days, but we are both super young, and we've been together for almost 2 years. So we definitely had a relatively quick relationship before we got engaged and married, but I do not regret it at all. It was definitely tumultuous, and having people's reactions being not so good on the internet, in real life, was not easy. And it was definitely a hurdle that I'm still getting over, but I've never made a better choice in my life than to marry my husband. It has just been the greatest joy ever to have a best friend and a life partner, somebody to laugh with, to cry with, somebody to make jokes with, to watch TV with, to go on road trips with, to go to sleep with, to pray with, to wake up with, to do anything with. Like, I never have to be alone. I never have to worry. I never have to feel scared. It's just this amazing thing. Now, I definitely am not saying that marriage is just this perfect thing, and I haven't been married long enough to really give marriage advice, but people fight and people cry and people yell at each other, and sometimes you get in bad moods and sometimes you don't want to be around that person and whatever. But if you have a generally good marriage and you have more good times than bad times, then it's so worth it. Like, I think that a lot of people saw me changing as a person when I started my relationship, and especially when I got married. On the internet especially, people were like, oh, he's controlling her, like he isn't letting her be herself, and he's changing her, and this isn't the Dani I know, and this is a red flag, and blah blah blah. And that was really hard to see and to go through, and especially to see my husband go through, because he was like not understanding why people didn't like him so much, and he wasn't understanding that the way he came across online was pretty different than how he comes across in person, and that people didn't get his humor or his sarcasm and just a lot of things. But I think that as time went on, people are starting to get that I am not changing in a bad way. I think that it's pretty obvious now, and I knew all along, but I think it's pretty obvious to the general public now that my husband pushes me to be myself. Like, I have never met someone who is more authentic than him. His beliefs have never changed. He has always been so firm in who he is, and he inspires me and he pushes me nonstop to the point where it's so annoying to be myself. And I think that sometimes people think that's bad in relationships, and they think that if a person changes you, it's a red flag or something. And I agree, sometimes there can be very toxic relationships where you are changing into someone that you don't like or someone you don't recognize. But for me, I knew in my heart and my soul all along that I was being pushed to be who I was. Not because he pulled it out of his ass and said, Dani, you don't want to be Catholic, like you don't want to be in a band, like I know you don't want to be the person that you are. Like, he didn't just make that up. He listened to me and he got to know me better than anyone's ever gotten to know me, and he was just literally reinforcing the things that I was saying out loud but not doing, because I'm the type of person where I say things and I talk a lot and I say I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to move here, I want to be this way, but I don't follow through with it unless I have someone holding me accountable, and he has been that person for the past year, and it's been incredible. So the first few months of marriage have been amazing and fun and exciting, and the beginning of something so cool and unique. And being married so young is so awesome for us, because whenever we do have kids, like hopefully we'll have them young and they'll have tons of years with us, and hopefully Emmyn will be able to go on tour and we'll be able to go together and living together in Nashville and like moving and having all these firsts together, and just like growing up, going into our 20s together is so exciting. So yeah, my rant is over. Sorry guys, I really love my husband. I'm so happy to be married to him. He is my rock and my angel and my source of entertainment and comedy and light and love in my life. So that's all. All right guys, that is my chit chat. That is my talk for today. I feel like that was such a vibe. I had a great time doing it. If you want to see more of that, please comment. I'll do a part 2. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Also, check out my husband's YouTube channels and check out my channel with my husband. I have a lot of videos going out on YouTube all the time, so check those out. Don't miss them. And I really don't have anything else to say, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.